Welcome, everyone. I'm here today with Brian. We are going to talk about non-sexy businesses. Brian, do you want to kick us off?
Thank you, Jeremy, for having me. I like non-sexy business. I'm in sexy business as well, but I like the non-sexy because if you look at it, that's where often there are less contenders in that market. So if you can speed up, and if you don't need banks to get into a business or do an M&A, and use your own money, even when it's syndicated with a couple of guys and girls, as I say it, this is the thing that what I like. It's like a meme on Instagram that says, "Give me 3 bad people." I'm avoiding the word. Then you can rule a country, and it's not bad in that sense. But if you're focused and know what you're doing, there are really great opportunities out there in the non-sexy businesses.
I love it. What are some of the non-sexy businesses that you like and why?
Non-sexy business, for instance, to me is agriculture. It has a lot of times people think of farmers just being out working, and they don't realize that crops are used every single day. That's why I like it. They're more into okay, what's the tech behind it? But at the end of the day, it is what is feeding us all. And sometimes we don't realize it. You see that, sorry to say so, but you see it it's a very popular topic nowadays around the Sustainable Development Goals, around farming. And at the same time, sustainable farming becomes very difficult. And not so much because sustainable farming is difficult or innovation around sustainable farming is difficult, but to follow the rule book by the dates set by any government, it doesn't matter, left, right, it doesn't really matter. That's difficult and challenging to farmers because farmers have to plan long-term on their investments because the margins are very low. So that is a lot with these kind of businesses. But I really like it. It's continuous. It never stops. Human never stops eating.
Yep. I think one of the reasons why I love the non-sexy businesses as well is because with every new technology or thing that comes out, like obviously food is always here, but like with a lot of things, you'll go through a phase of it's sexy, it's new, it's novel, and then it becomes commonplace, which means it becomes less sexy, right? So
Yeah.
you can see this with everything in the world. And so what happens is like when something new comes out, we get people are trying to figure out how do you make this new product or service work, like AI right now. How do you make this new product or service work? You
Sure.
get this fragmentation of the market, then you have market leaders emerge. And for the people that have set out a path of increasing defensibility, first your initial seed of defensibility, and then a path of increasing defensibility, you kind of create this moat around what is now long-term revenues, whether it's subscription or repeat usages or whatever, right?
No,
And you can look at things like
absolutely.
food, that obviously have always been there or whatever, but like you get this long recurring revenue, right? And in any sort of great business, we want those long repeating revenues. And that is what is interesting about what is traditionally considered like the boring businesses, right?
Well, exactly. And the more boring, the better it is. So this is really hitting the mark when you say, let's say AI in a non-sexy business. If you look at agriculture, I think that agriculture was one of the industries that was the first industry to really challenge in automation, machine learning, AI. People don't look at it that way because we look at farmers being on a tractor outside and predicting the weather. Well, even predicting the weather is a lot of it has to do with prediction technology, which is based on machine learning, has to based on LLM as we know it nowadays. So if we look at AI, even greenhouses. So I do a lot in Europe, Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, and we have greenhousing technology, far extended greenhousing technology. We don't have the space, right? So, and especially if you look at the Netherlands, so these greenhouses are smart factories. And how can you run a smart factory? Well, by planning everything meticulously, so efficiently that you have no waste at all. And this is where you see that even for climate control systems, in these greenhouses, they use a lot of advanced technology already. And technology that we will see years later in other industries and markets. So this is why I like it, because agriculture touches everything from water resources to energy, power grid, to food security. Well, and so it becomes really sexy, but from the outside is like, well, what do I have with agriculture? And this is just one example. So
Yep.
This is really a thing that I'm invested in is agriculture. The other thing I like is, well, standard production procedures and to robotize them. And it's not about killing jobs, but if we do something repetitively and we want to keep the factories in our own countries and not ship them out to low-cost countries, we need to automate as far as we can. But it also provides an opportunity to educate our workers up to the next level so that they don't feel threatened by advancing technology, because you cannot stop it. It's very clear. If we look at the other industry that I very like is national security defense. Nobody wants to invest in defense in times that it doesn't matter, right? And then everybody yells and runs. If you look at what's happening now, also when you look at the NATO countries, they forgot to invest in their national security. So how come that we need something happening and now we see billion-dollar contracts being closed every single day, but also renewal? All of a sudden we're looking into unmanned ground vehicles, air vehicles, and sorts. And that's taking a leap. Drone technology is taking a leap. But the drone technology was not invented for this. Drone technology was invented, let's say, for crops, checking crops. And now you see it reapplied, way cheaper. So, and this is the thing you said before, you know, if you have a big stage to operate on, well, this is where the money is.
Yep. I think, and there's a mathematical relationship to timing the boring businesses, right? When some new thing first comes out for the types of businesses that are a new thing coming out. Obviously, food is always existing, but for the things that are newly coming out, right? There's A/B testing cost to figuring out how to deliver this product service, right? And that A/B testing cost is in your margin of your cost. That COGS or cost is going to go down over time. But then also, as more competition comes in, it lowers your price up to the point that you have a defensible price prop on that price. And so between the price that the consumers and competition is pushing that price down and your COGS that you can kind of expand, you have this profit margin space, right? And so then we look and we say, where can we reduce the cost, obviously? Where can we potentially increase the price with some sort of defensibility or feature add or whatever? And then once we reach that kind of settle rate, then we have to say, now let's stack products, right? Let's become that Walmart where it's a ton of low-cost products, right? And so there's a mathematical timing and a mathematical stacking of these boring businesses, boring products that you can do, and then you kind of repeat over and over and over.
Well, the thing is that normally if you're a family owning businesses, you look at revenue. Mostly families are not involved in raising rounds. We'll look at how can we earn money to make money and spend money. And that is really important to us. So we don't lease a car, we buy a car. And I know that there are differences in the market around that. Yeah, even with machinery. You're like, okay, we need a new machine. Okay, what does it cost? 1.3 million. Do we have it in the bank? Okay, we have it in the bank, wire the money. We don't go sitting around and then, cash. Of course, we're smart with cash. It's not that. But you're more resorting to your own means than automatically looking outside the door. And this is where it becomes, I know, a little bit stuck in PE more than in the VC market. But at the same time, it's just very healthy. One of the sayings is, and that applies a lot to the non-sexy businesses, and that is, I would say that non-sexy businesses don't spend money that they don't have or things they don't need to impress others they don't even like. So, and there's no fluff in it. Or a little bit, because everybody can call out immediately. Let's say in farming, they know they wait until they adopt a new technology, and if they do, they don't navigate to something else in the next couple of years because it's all in process. And everything has to make money. It is unbelievable that you can have businesses that don't make money. And I know a lot of people who are in businesses that never will make money, and we hatch. From one investment to the other and everybody gets a multiple, that is a separate business. Then it's no longer about building a solid business. So sorry to say so, and I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but a solid business makes money. I'm very clear about it. And I see it more in the non-sexy businesses because they're non-sexy because, of the way that they're usually structured. So yeah, that is, I would say that if you look at it from an investment point of view, and it's more what fits your character, right? There's something for everybody.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely what personality and what your character is for What do you want to go the sexy route? Do you want to go the boring route? And at what timing? And do you want to even be a different type of personality in doing one boring business, or do you want to stack a ton of them? I know we could talk forever on this, but we are at time. Thank you for chatting, Brian.
Thank you so much, Jeremy.